Hello there, very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV Pod for the Newsfirst, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan.
And I'm Thiruni Karunaratna. Here are tonight's top stories.
Katunayaka Airport security officer arrested with T-56 rifle and a stash of weapons. Vimal Veeravansa summoned by the CID for questioning. President instructs officials to draft a plan to build a national sports culture. G.L. Pires spearheading talks for a new opposition alliance. India celebrates 79th Independence Day at Red Fort. US-Russia presidential meeting set for tomorrow in Alaska.
On to those stories in detail. A security officer attached to the Katunayaka Airport was arrested in possession of a T-56 assault rifle and a stockpile of other weapons. According to police, the arrest was made at the suspect's residence located in Minuangoda.
The individual taken into custody has been identified as Chandima Jayaratna, a former branch president of the Sri Lanka Nidahas Sevaka Sangamaya and currently serving as a security officer at the Bandaranayake International Airport. The Minuangoda police, acting on a tip-off received by the officer in charge, conducted a search at Jayaratna's residence on Mudulige Mawatha, Minuangoda earlier this morning. Chandima Jayaratna also goes by the name Gasma. During the search, authorities recovered a T-56 assault rifle, one magazine compatible with the T-56, a 2.2mm pistol, 14 rounds of T-56 ammunition, 6 rounds of 9mm pistol ammunition, 9 rounds of 2.2mm ammunition, 2 firearm models resembling pistols and revolvers, 3 swords and 2 knives. Jayaratna previously held the position of branch president for the SLNSS at Airport and Aviation Services Limited. When contacted, the union confirmed that he had served in that role for a period of time. At the time of his arrest, the 45-year-old was still actively employed as a security officer at the Bandaranayake International Airport. Efforts to obtain a statement from the office of the chairman of the airport and Aviation Services Sri Lanka were unsuccessful, as the office stated that they were unaware of the incident and therefore unable to comment.
Newly appointed Inspector General of Police, Attorney at Law Priyantha Veerasurya, met with President Anurakumara Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat. During the meeting, President Dissanayake extended his best wishes to the new IGP, who in turn presented a commemorative token to the President.
At the close of trading today, the all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange surpassed a 20,000-point milestone.
The SPI rose by 289.69 points during the day, ending at 20,218.36. Although the index briefly crossed the 20,000 mark during intraday trading on the 4th of August, it failed to maintain that level by the end of that session. Today's trading also recorded a notable turnover of 9.54 billion rupees, marking a significant day for the market.
Sri Lanka's central bank has said that inflation is set to rise, but growth momentum will hold strong.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka, in its monetary policy report for August 2025, has outlined key economic developments and projections, indicating a shift from deflationary conditions to a more stable inflation trajectory alongside continued economic recovery. According to the report, inflation has remained in negative territory since September 2024, primarily due to declining energy and transport costs, as well as easing food prices. However, deflationary pressures have moderated since March 2025, driven by rising food inflation and upward adjustments in energy prices. The central bank notes that this brief episode of deflation has not disrupted economic activity or producer behavior and has instead helped ease the cost of living burden for households. Deflation is expected to end by the third quarter of 2025, with inflation gradually accelerating to reach 5% by mid-2026. In the medium term, inflation is projected to stabilize around the target rate of 5%, although temporary fluctuations may occur. Co-inflation, currently at a low positive level, is also expected to rise gradually before stabilizing. The Sri Lankan rupee experienced modest depreciation against the US dollar, supported by improved tourism earnings, worker remittances, and the fifth tranche of the IMF's extended fund facility. Looking ahead, the central bank anticipates continued near-term growth, supported by credit expansion, recovering demand, and a stable policy environment.
President Anura Kumara Dissanayake today instructed the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports to formulate a plan to build a strong sports culture within the country. He gave these directives during a preliminary discussion held to review the 2025 budget allocations for the ministry and to prepare proposals for the 2026 budget.
A discussion chaired by President Anura Dissanayake reviewed the current status of allocations and projects under 8 institutions operating under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports for the year 2025. During the meeting, the President emphasized that one of the long-standing issues in sectors including youth affairs and sports has been the failure to properly allocate and utilize budgetary provisions to drive meaningful development. He pointed out that although necessary allocations have been made across sectors, the actual implementation of related projects has often fallen short, preventing the public from receiving the intended benefits. Therefore, he instructed that the allocated funds for the current financial year must be used effectively to deliver tangible results to the people. The discussion also highlighted the importance of preparing the 2026 budget proposals with a focus on establishing a strong sports culture in the country, developing sports-related infrastructure, implementing programs to identify athletes with international level potential, and elevating athletes to compete on global platforms. President Dissanayake further directed that a comprehensive national plan be prepared to build a sports culture across the country. He emphasized the importance of engaging local sports clubs to the fullest extent and ensuring that they are provided with the necessary support and facilities. He also underscored that investments in sports should not be viewed solely as efforts to improve athletic performance, but as multifaceted contributions towards enhancing public health, social well-being, reducing crime and drug abuse, fostering community cohesion, and building a vibrant, energetic workforce for the country.
Case file.
Former Member of Parliament Bimal Veeravansa appeared before the Criminal Investigation Department this morning. His appearance was in response to a summons issued by the CID.
Former Member of Parliament Bimal Veeravansa was summoned to the Criminal Investigation Department to provide a statement regarding a public remark he had made concerning the Easter Sunday attacks. He arrived at the CID at about 10:30 am today and left at about 1:30 pm.
I was asked to appear at the CID to give a statement regarding a complaint filed by 3 individuals over a public statement I made about the Easter attacks. It was only upon arrival that I learned the complaint was based on a statement I made in 2021, nearly 2 years after the Easter Sunday attacks, at the Sambuddhatva Jayanti Mandira in Colombo. I clarified my position on the matter and the officials recorded my statement. They informed me that I would be contacted again if necessary.
A statement by Dr. Harsha D. Silva regarding the United States' decision to impose higher taxes on India has sparked public discourse. The matter drew reactions from several factions today.
The Democratic National Congress also held a press conference today in response to the comments made by Dr. Harsha D. Silva.
What's happening is that this remarkable doctor, who speaks on economic matters, has been spreading baseless stories and talking nonsense. We have called this media gathering today to express our opposition to a statement he made in Parliament recently.
There is one thing that I want to tell you. It ain't over until the fat lady sings.
When this country fell into an economic crisis, it was India that helped us. At this moment, the current government and the current president are diplomatically engaged with those countries. This same doctor repeatedly said, this is 44% and it won't go down from here. He argued relentlessly that the team doesn't have the capacity and the government couldn't do this. However, the team led by the current president intervened, held discussions with representatives of the American Trump administration and brought it down to 20%. This is a problem between India and America. They are not acting against India, nor are they laughing at them. We ask, what is Harsha De Silva trying to highlight through this story? This is a statement deliberately made to completely damage the diplomatic dealings and relations between the two countries. I don't know on what basis Harsha De Silva said this. He seems to think he is the only master of economics in Sri Lanka. He always comes to parliament and makes statements like this will fall today, the dollar will go up by this much, Trump won't reduce tariffs by this much. He makes these statements every day. I think he's full of hatred and hypocrisy.
Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe expressed his views following a program held in Madirigiriya, Porolnaruwa today.
I feel like the opposition is now in a situation where they've ended up jumping from one side to the other without any direction. Just take what Harsha said about India. He brought this up right when we were discussing tax concessions. Let's see what he said. He went to India and ended up staying in America. There were no discussions in Sri Lanka. He said we don't have any diplomatic relations, remember? Now the same Harsha who said we don't have diplomatic ties is trying to shed crocodile tears about India. Harsha needs to understand. We handled diplomatic negotiations properly and secured better American tax concessions, reducing tariffs from 44% to 20%. We did that responsibly as a nation. So when people say that we are mocking India or anything like that, what even is that? They are trying to create a problem that doesn't exist. Now Harsha is pretending to be sad about India just because he couldn't get the job done himself. Isn't this the same Harsha who said we don't understand this work and can't do it? Today India is imposing a 50% tax and we believe it might have some economic impact there. But India is also the fastest growing economy in Asia. We have excellent diplomatic ties with India. I don't know what the opposition is thinking. Maybe they thought they could provoke us. Sorry Harsha, we know exactly what diplomatic engagement with India means. And we are doing this work with full awareness. So now when you have nothing else to say, you're just saying whatever comes to mind. That's what we understand about Harsha.
කියන්න දෙයක් නැති නිසා මොන හරි කියනවා වගේ කියලා තමයි අපිට දැන් හර්ෂ ගැනත් තේරෙන්නේ. මං හිතන්නේ අපේ රටේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු ඉතිහාසයේ
I think this is the first time in our country's parliamentary history that a vote of no confidence has been brought up against a deputy minister. Normally, collective responsibility lies with cabinet ministers. A vote of no confidence can be brought against a cabinet minister or an impeachment motion against the president. But a deputy minister does not carry that level of responsibility. So I feel the opposition, which has no place left to hang on to, has now clung to this no confidence motion. That means the opposition itself has lost public confidence. Now they are left doing silly things out of desperation. From this alone, it is clear that they don't even know how to bring a proper vote of no confidence. How can such an opposition expect to govern the country again? Those who kept saying this won't work, this can't be done, now see that things are actually working well. So they are trying to throw a stone from afar away just to see if it causes any damage. We need to tell them, gentlemen, first learn how to work properly. If this continues, they'll start bringing no confidence motions against MPs as well. If that happens, all of them can be removed. After all, we have 159 MPs on our side. So at the very least, we feel disappointing that this is an opposition that doesn't understand anything.
Group of representatives of opposition political parties, including the Samagi Jana Sandhanaya and MPs from the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, participated in a discussion held yesterday at the residence of former chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Professor G.L. Pires. Professor G.L. Pires has been engaged in several rounds of discussions over the past few weeks.
අපි පුජ්‍යලයෝ හැටියට
We discuss the current national crisis as individuals. This is not about forming a new political alliance or an anti-government coalition. Our effort is to create a platform for political intellect. Also, we are not calling on the public to immediately overthrow the government or mount strong protests. This government is continuing its course. Our aim is to build a broader public platform to move forward through constructive criticism.
තනා ගැනීම තමයි අපේ අරමුණ.
නෑ දැන් චම්පක මහත්මයා කිව්වා නෑ නෑ මම සජිබෙන් අයින් වෙලත් නෑ සජිබේ සමාජිකත්වයට අරගෙනත් නෑ අපි සන්දානේ ඉන්නවා අපි වැඩ කරනවා කලබල වෙන්න එපා මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ කියලා තේරෙන්නේ නෑ අපි සාකච්ඡාවක් කරා ඉතින් ඒක දිගටම අරගෙන යනවා පොදු වැඩපිළිවෙලක් අපි හදනවා ඉස්සරහට එච්චරයි කියන්නේ සන්දානයක් නෙවෙයි.
This isn't a political alliance. Professor G.L. Piris is not the leader, he is merely the convener. This is a multi-party platform being built by the opposition. Today, we also propose that SJB leader and opposition leader Sajid Premadasa should be part of this platform. That was agreed upon. So in the coming weekend, we will hold talks with him and others as well.
නායකය ඕනේ කවුරු නායක කියන්නේ නායකය උදාවේ හරි වෙලාවට සජිත් මහත්තයා එපා වෙලා වගේ නේ එහෙම නෑ නෑ මම සමගි ජන බලවේග ස්වාධීන වශයෙන් නේ මට ආරාධනයක් ආවා මේකට එන්න කියලා ඉතින් මම මේ ආව එකට එච්චරයි ඔබතුමාලා සමගි ජන බලවේගයත් එපා වෙලාද මේ වෙලාවේ තියෙන්නේ එතනින් එහාට පුළු සන්දානයක්ද මේ හැදෙන්න හදන්නේ නෑ මම කිව්වා වගේ මේක දේශපාලන පක්ෂයක් හදන්න දේශපාලන සන්ධානයක් හදන්න නෙවෙයි පොදු මතයකට එන්නයි අපි උත්සාහ කරන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ නෑ අපි
None of us are currently in parliament, so we thought it was important to come together as a group and discuss the prevailing national situation. We are currently discussing a wide range of issues and we will present those points publicly in the near future.
Meanwhile, National People's Power parliamentarian for the Batiklu district, Kandasamy Prabhu, expressed his views today at a media briefing regarding the discussion held by opposition political representatives yesterday.
G.L. Piris has launched a new conspiracy from his own residence, gathering together defeated opposition groups and the same factions that bankrupted the country. No matter how hard they try, these actions cannot undermine our government, which has earned the trust of the people. At a time when the country is on the right path, what should be done is to implement programs that will further strengthen this government. They are now planning to bring a no confidence motion against the Deputy Defence Minister. I also see this as another conspiracy by the opposition, but none of their efforts will succeed.
Newsfirst with the people.
India marked its 79th Independence Day today with vibrant celebrations across the country, honouring its journey since gaining freedom from the British rule in 1947. At the historic Red Fort, Prime Minister Narendra Modi delivered his longest ever Independence Day speech, extending to a duration of 103 minutes. This was the longest speech delivered by any Prime Minister in India's history.
President of India Draupadi Murmu paid tributes to the brave hearts at Delhi's National War Memorial on Independence Day, honouring the soldiers who made the supreme sacrifice in independent India's armed conflicts. She was accompanied by Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Air Staff Amarpreet Singh, Chief of Army Staff General Upendra Dwivedi and Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Dinesh Tripathi, with all five of them marching to the memorial while being drenched in heavy rain. The central celebration of India's 79th Independence Day took place at the historic Red Fort in New Delhi, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the ceremonial proceedings. On the occasion of the 79th Independence Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Rajghat in New Delhi to pay homage to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi.
These are the pillars which are the building blocks.
The day began by a guard of honour and the unfurling of the national flag. A 21-gun salute accompanied the national anthem, while Indian Air Force helicopters showered flower petals over the crowd, adding to the patriotic spectacle. Marking his 12th Independence Day address, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi turned the Red Fort into a launch pad for the next chapter of India's rise. On the 79th Independence Day, he made a series of bold announcements that signal a nation ready to leap, not just step into the future. Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted India's journey towards energy self-reliance during his Independence Day speech. He announced the launch of the National Deep Water Exploration Mission aimed at discovering vast reserves of gas and oil beneath India's oceans.
बजट का बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा ये पेट्रोल, डीजल, गैस इन सबको लाने के लिए खर्च होता था। लाखों करोड़ रुपए चले जाते थे। अगर हम ऊर्जा में डिपेंडेंट न होते, वो धन मेरे देश के नौजवानों के भविष्य के लिए काम आता। वो धन मेरे देश के गरीबों को गरीबी के खिलाफ लड़ाई लड़ने में काम आता। वो धन मेरे देश के किसानों के कल्याण में काम आता। वो धन मेरे देश के गांव की परिस्थिति को पलटने के लिए काम आता। लेकिन हमें विदेशों को देना पड़ रहा। अब हम आत्मनिर्भर बनने की दिशा में काम कर रहे हैं। देश को विकसित बनाने के लिए हम अब समुद्र मंथन की तरफ भी जा रहे हैं। हमारे समुद्र के मंथन को आगे बढ़ाते हुए हम समुद्र के भीतर के तेल के भंडार, गैस के भंडार, उसको खोजने की दिशा में एक मिशन मोड में काम करना चाहते हैं। और इसलिए भारत ने नेशनल डीप वाटर एक्सप्लोरेशन मिशन शुरू करने जा रहा है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi criticized the Indus Water Treaty, saying it had caused enormous harm to Indian agriculture. He declared that India has decided that blood and water will not flow together anymore.
भारत ने तय कर लिया है, खून और पानी एक साथ नहीं बहेंगे। अब देशवासियों को भली भांति पता चला है कि सिंधु का समझौता कितना अन्यायपूर्ण है, कितना एक तरफा है। भारत से निकलती नदियों का पानी दुश्मनों के खेत को सींच रहा है और मेरे देश के किसान, मेरे देश की धरती पानी के बिना प्यासी है। ये ऐसा समझौता था जिसने पिछले 7 दशक से मेरे देश के किसानों का अकल्पनीय नुकसान किया है। अब हिंदुस्तान के हक का जो पानी है उस पर अधिकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान का है, हिंदुस्तान के किसानों का है। किसान हित में, राष्ट्र हित में ये समझौता हमें मंजूर नहीं है।
India's 79th Independence Day celebrations took place at the Indian High Commission in Colombo. The celebrations took place under the auspices of the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha. The Indian flag was hoisted to mark the commencement of the proceedings at the High Commission in Colombo. The High Commissioner shared the message of the Indian President.
India had the oldest republics in the world. It is rightly acknowledged as the mother of democracy. When we adopted the Constitution, it provided the edifice of democracy. We built democratic institutions that strengthen the practice of democracy. We prize our Constitution and our democracy above everything else. With a GDP growth rate of 6.5% in the last fiscal, India is the fastest growing among the major economies in the world. Even amid stress in the global economy, demand at home is pacing ahead. Inflation has remained under control exports are rising. All key indicators show the economy is in the pink of health. This is as much due to carefully calibrated reforms and sagacious economic management.
The event saw many cultural performances as well. The Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre, together with the High Commission of India, launched India Fest 2025, a 3-day cultural event to celebrate Indian Independence Day. The opening ceremony was attended by the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, along with other special guests. A large and diverse crowd joined the event, including Indian expatriates, diplomats, local families, youth and culture lovers. Visitors explored authentic Indian ethnic wear and beautifully crafted handmade items at the fashion and handicraft stalls. They enjoyed a wide range of regional dishes, traditional sweets and spicy street food, offering a true taste of India. The stage came alive with traditional and fusion dance performances.
Sri Lanka is playing host to one of the most influential global gatherings of Jain business leaders in Colombo.
The Jito Chennai Plus Foundation and Jito Business Network officially launched the Pagaria JBN Power Conclave in Colombo. The 3-day event, taking place from the 15th to the 17th of August, is said to be a cornerstone in strengthening international business ties and positioning Colombo as a rising hub for conference, tourism and investment.
We know that His Excellency our President visited India after becoming President and even before, and we were able to witness how India has been excelling in technology. I hope that your investors and business leaders must have fantastic ideas of investments, and you are welcome and better build very close relationships, especially through the High Commission of India to Sri Lanka and all the ministries. We hope, in addition to investments between India and Sri Lanka, we have very strong and friendly and similar culture. Lots of similarities are there in your lifestyle, the food, the social aspects and all. So therefore, we strongly believe that under our government, we can build very strong relationships between India and Sri Lanka in many folds.
We are very determined to support Sri Lanka in its efforts at recovery, and we are very, very happy to see that it has started not just recover but also beginning to consolidate towards a period of robust economic growth in the days to come. As was mentioned, Sri Lanka already has low inflation, good economic growth of 5% or so, and in many ways we remain committed to supporting Sri Lanka. We are also supporting infrastructure related projects in energy sector. We are working on a grid interconnection for the trade in power between India and Sri Lanka. We are working and we are waiting for Sri Lanka to take its own decision as to when we can resume negotiations for an economic and technology cooperation agreement. We are also supporting the railway sector in a very, very major way. Over the last decade or so, we have put in about more than $1 billion of lines of credit for the renovation of the railway system in Sri Lanka, and we are supporting ports development as well, both from the private sector side as well as through grant assistance. Overall, our approach towards Sri Lanka is now one that is investment based, departing from the old debt-based strategy that Sri Lanka followed.
The Colombo Conclave is expected to draw between 600 to 700 high net worth delegates. Attendees will engage in sector-specific business forums, curated B2B matchmaking sessions and exclusive deal-making opportunities, alongside a series of networking and cultural showcases.
Newsfirst, main sponsor. A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Save the Sri Lankan leopard.
The Sri Lankan leopard is the largest carnivore that can be seen in the country. There are 8 subspecies of leopards worldwide, and the one found in Sri Lanka is endemic to the country. The leopard is a striking animal with a yellowish-brown body covered in black spots. Deer species, wild boar, porcupines, monkeys, birds and reptiles are among the prey that leopards hunt. The surrounding environment and available prey determine the foraging locations of leopards. These can sometimes be on the ground or in elevated places.
WNPS initiatives to protect the Sri Lankan leopard is proudly sponsored by LOLC.
Save the Sri Lankan leopard.
Welcome back. An auspicious Vibhuti pilgrimage commenced today from the sacred Katharagama temple to the historic Nallur Kandaswamy Kobil in Jaffna.
In celebration of the annual Nallur Temple Festival, Newsfirst has established a special spiritual pavilion at the Nallur Sivaguru Adinam. Blessed Vibhuti, collected from various temples including Katharagama, will be distributed to devotees at this pavilion. The Newsfirst pavilion will operate at the Nallur Sivaguru Adinam from the 19th to the 21st of August. The Vibhuti journey began this morning from the Sella Katharagama Sri Manika Pillayar Kovil, with the Newsfirst team participating in the religious observances before proceeding to the Ruhunu Maha Katharagama Devalaya, where a special puja was held. The pilgrimage will travel through Kandy, Mathale, Kakirava, Vaunia and Kilinochi before reaching Nallur.
Newsfirst Vibhuti Yatra. We started our journey from Katharagama today early this morning, and we firstly went to the Lord Ganesha Kovil here in Katharagama, and then we went to the Ruhunu Maha Katharagama Devalaya, and right now we are here in Monragala, and I believe we took one of the longest routes from Katharagama to Jaffna, and still we are on our way to Nallur, where we will be reaching in another few days. And along this way we saw a lot of beautiful things, a lot of unique things, and we will be carrying this Vibhuti with a lot of devotion, and we'll be reaching towards Nallur, and our next stop is Kandy, which is tomorrow, and we'll be moving towards Kilinochi and also Vaunia. So we'll be bringing you the latest updates from Monragala and also from Kandy tomorrow. So reporting to you, I'm Abudin Amar Divakara for Newsfirst.
The annual festival of Mana's historic Our Lady of Madhu Shrine was held today, presided over by the Bishop of Mana, His Lordship Jnanapragasam Anthony Pillai. This year's Madhu festival was media sponsored by the Sirasa and Shakti media networks.
The Our Lady of Madhu Shrine, a highly revered Roman Catholic Marian shrine located in Sri Lanka's Mana district, has a history spanning more than 400 years. A large crowd of devotees gathered at the shrine since this morning. The service began at 6:15 a.m. today. The main service was conducted in both Sinhala and Tamil with the participation of the Bishop of Mana, His Lordship Jnanapragasam Anthony Pillai and other priests. Following the service, a procession carrying the statue of Our Lady of Madhu toured the streets, blessing the people.
Sri Lanka Customs says that the highest monthly revenue in its history was recorded last month. The total revenue amounted to 235 billion rupees.
Sri Lanka Customs officially launched its Customs Declaration Notification System today to facilitate import and export operations. The event was held under the patronage of Deputy Minister of Economic Development, Dr. Anil Jayantha.
මේ අවුරුද්දේ අපිට තියෙනවා රුපියල් බිලියන 2115ක දැවැන්ත ඉලක්කයක්.
This year we have a massive target of 2,115 billion. We are happy to say that. So far, Sri Lanka Customs has already collected 1,351 billion rupees. Our target by the end of July was 1,110 billion rupees. But we surpassed that and achieved 1,231 billion rupees. For this month, our target is 1,300 billion rupees. As of today, we've already reached 1,351 billion rupees. We are truly happy and confident that by the end of this month, we will exceed our targets by over 125 billion rupees. I am extremely proud, especially of the tremendous efforts and dedication shown by the entire staff of the Department of Customs. Last month, we recorded a monthly customs revenue of 235 billion rupees, the highest month revenue in history of Sri Lanka Customs. In 2023, when we crossed 100 billion rupees in a single month, we considered that a huge milestone. But today, Customs has reached 235 billion rupees. So, I believe it is my duty to announce this achievement and to express appreciation to the entire staff who contributed to this success.
රේගු ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මම හිතනවා ඒක ප්‍රකාශ කිරීම මගේ යුතුයකමක්.
The People's Struggle Alliance staged a protest in Maharagama today.
The People's Struggle Alliance launched a protest in Maharagama today, expressing their dissatisfaction with the actions of the government. Organised under the theme Anura Modi Horagivisum Iratamanu IMF Marogulata Erhivemu, which loosely translates to tear up the Anura Modi secret deals, let's resist the deadly IMF trap. The demonstration was held in the Maharagama town. Although protesters attempted to set up a stage in the centre of the town, police arrived at the scene and removed all equipment.
If there really are no secret deals, then why is the government so agitated? Why are they sending the police? Next, we are calling for the IMF's deadly trap to be dismantled. If it's not a deadly trap, why is the government so afraid? Why are they attacking the people? This government is clearly trying to continue the same policies that Ranil Wickremesinghe had in place.
Later, the protesters also distributed leaflets to raise public awareness. Former State Minister Lohan Ratwatte passed away this morning while receiving treatment at a private hospital in Colombo. Lohan Ratwatte was 57 years old at the time of his death. He entered Parliament in 2010 representing the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and last served as a Member of Parliament under the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Lohan Ratwatte, a close relative of former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, served as State Minister of Prisons under the previous government led by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and was later appointed State Minister of Industries. He was also appointed State Minister of Irrigation and Water Resources Development during Ranil Wickremesinghe's presidency.
විශාල පාඩුවක් විශේෂයෙන්ම නුවරට විතරක් නෙවෙයි රටටත් විශාල පාඩුවක් මේ වගේ දේශපාලනඥයෙක් නැතිවීම අපිට හිතපු හිතවත්ම මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක් හොඳ මිතුරෙක්.
The Gem City Gems and Jewellery exhibition commenced in Ratnapura.
Gem City Gems and Jewellery exhibition is organised by the National Gem and Jewellery Authority.
Export revenue from gems and jewellery has yet to reach its potential. Inconsistent policies, as in many other sectors, has affected the gem industry as well, and this has hindered the growth and development of this sector. Our government is committed to creating stable conditions and has set an ambitious target of $1 billion in export revenue for the sector. We are also strengthening links with international gem and jewellery associations in the USA, China, Thailand, India and Switzerland to to reinforce Sri Lanka's standing in the global market.
The event was attended by several cabinet ministers, state ministers, the governor of Sabaragamuwa and government parliamentarians representing the Ratnapura district.
US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet in Anchorage, Alaska, 11:30 a.m. local time.
US President Donald Trump and Russian President Putin will start the summit with a one-on-one conversation with the help of interpreters before continuing talks over a business lunch. No officials from Ukraine will be at the summit, despite calls from Kiev and its European allies for the country to have a seat at the table. Trump has suggested that his goal is to move towards an eventual trilateral meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Trump told reporters on Air Force One en route to Alaska that he wasn't having the meeting to broker a deal on behalf of Ukraine, but said instead his goal was getting Putin to the table. He also stopped short of promising security guarantees for Ukraine as part of a deal to end the war. Trump has threatened Russia with very severe consequences if Putin does not agree to end the war in the meeting, from which Ukrainian President Zelensky was excluded. If the summit goes well, Trump has suggested organizing a trilateral meeting with Zelensky that may include European leaders who remain deeply wary of Putin. British Defence Minister John Healey said that the United Kingdom is ready to put boots on the ground in Ukraine if Russia agrees to a ceasefire following the Alaska summit. Healey's comments came after the leaders of the UK, France and Germany said on Wednesday that they are willing to play an active role in guaranteeing Ukraine's security once hostilities have ceased.
The launching of water-optimizing waves, also known as WOW technology, took place in Colombo. The WOW technology, developed by Hisao Tanaka, marks a major shift in the way water molecules interact with living cells. This unique invention maintains cellular freshness and opens new possibilities in health, food preservation and wellness.
冷蔵庫っていうのは200年間冷やすだけです。
For nearly 200 years, refrigerators have done one thing, kept things cool. They are most used electronic appliances and one of the oldest technologies we still rely on. After 39 years, we've finally figured out how to control a single drop of water. Japan has come this far, partly because of the support from Sri Lanka. So when it comes to using technology to help people and countries, the first place we want to support is Sri Lanka.
だから我々のテクノロジーで一番お役に立っていただきたいのがスリランカの人たち。
This technology is capable of preserving the freshness of perishable food and flowers, maintaining human cellular health, improving sleep quality, easing menstrual pain, and aiding athlete recovery.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.